Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. Is fear holding you back from getting sober? I know countless fears held me back for so many years. And it's all right for people like me or anyone else to say, step through your fear. But it's not as easy as that, because fear can paralyze us. It can keep us in that same moment, however shitty that moment may be, going round and round, never moving forward, keeping us in the same self-destructive cycle. It's one of the greatest destroyers of human potential there is. It stops people achieving half of what they're capable of achieving because we like to be comfortable. Fear's there, it's a survival tool. Our brain likes to keep us safe. So there are many fears associated with getting sober. I'm going to share with you in this video how I got through mine, if you like, and continued on to sobriety. And hopefully you can take some of that on board and it'll help you. Because I know that many people contact me on here that are stuck in this cycle and they're afraid to get off it. And I totally understand that. Just before I go into the video, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Take another moment, please, to click on the Ko-fi link in the description. Have a read of my pages there. And if you can help support the channel in any way you can, if my videos help you, then I'd be greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to those who've helped so far. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. So fear. Let's get it right. People say and overcomplicate things around fear, and a lot of misinformation is spread, particularly on the internet, about how difficult it is to get and stay sober, and all sorts of horror stories. And you may hear these horror stories if you go to various groups and if you listen to certain videos and all the rest of it, or if you've been through the situation before yourself and you've had experience of getting sober, and it perhaps wasn't a pleasant one. Particularly if you're dependent on drugs and alcohol, then you're going to have to get through a withdrawal. And the fear of that, because as I said at the beginning, the brain wants to keep us comfortable, wants to keep us safe. It's a survival mechanism. Fear's there for a reason. Although we live in a lot of fear these days and our adrenaline levels are constantly up because of the fear mongering that surrounds us. And people overcomplicating things. It makes it very, very difficult. What's true, what's misinformation, and what's real. There's a lot of people that contact me on this channel that are stuck in the self-destructive cycle of addiction. They can't get off an hour out of this cycle. They can't take that first step forward because they're quite rightly afraid. Because sometimes they're stepping into the unknown. Let's just get a few things straight. It isn't easy. You're quite right to be frightened. It's a natural thing. It's okay to be frightened. You wouldn't be normal. You wouldn't be a human being if you weren't. But there are a few things you can do that I did that will help you get through this. And these can apply to any change you make in your life. Change is uncomfortable. When we're in addiction, we're in this sort of cotton wool surrounded space. Although it's a shitty existence most of the time, we're unconscious because we're sedated most of the time. So we don't, we're not feeling normal things when life's going on around us. And life, let's face it, can be a shit show sometimes. We're sedated against that, or we sedate ourselves against that. So when it comes to the point where we've had enough, and we want to get sober, and we want to beat our addictions, or we want to make great change in our life, we're frightened because we know not just about the withdrawal bit, but that we're going to have to step out of our comfort zones and we're going to have to start feeling these emotions. We're going to have to start living life on life's terms. When the shit hits the fan, we're going to have to be conscious and deal with it, which is what life's all about. And that's, sometimes that's not pleasant. And perhaps we've been hiding from that for a very, very long time. Well, here's how I got through it. And it sounds very basic. There's a lot of bullshit spread online and when you read things, particularly when you Google things and whatever. So the first thing I did around withdrawal, for instance, was get as much knowledge as I could, good knowledge, science inside me as I could, and other people's experiences as I could, and by talking to people and listening to people. But the science behind the withdrawal first. I wanted to understand exactly what was happening to my body. And on this channel, you'll find a few videos, quite a lot of videos on opiate withdrawal, alcohol withdrawal, benzodiazepine withdrawal, with all the science and the preparation and the planning and everything you need to do and the knowledge to get through that withdrawal in the best way you can possible. And whether that means seeking medical advice first as well, which is also covered in those videos. So getting all that knowledge in. The next thing for me, because everything's overcomplicated online, people overcomplicate because of the ego and all sorts of other things. When they pass on information, it's made as complex as possible. And, it starts to spin round in your head and make you more frightened and create more fear and mystery around it all. But let's just keep it simple. There's an old saying, I know it's in AA, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So that's what I decided to do, to keep it simple. Simple for me, of getting and staying sober was, and I'm talking about now after I've got through the withdrawal, and even during going through the withdrawal, was to keep it absolutely as simple as I could in the moment. So let's face it, all this shit that's going on in your life, if you're buried in that at the moment, that's not suddenly going to stop. But what you've got to do to get sober and stay sober is put it on a shelf up there somewhere. All you can focus on when you're trying to get rid of your addictions, all you can focus on is minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, absolutely in the moment. And just get through a minute at a time, an hour at a time, a day at a time, without putting a drink or a drug in your mouth. It's as simple as that. Just focus on that. Everything else that's going on in your life, you're going to have to put it up there for a bit, wherever you can. I'm not, sometimes the stuff that you can't avoid. I mean, you may have to go out and earn money. If you may not be able to take time off to do this. You may have to carry on. But even so, you need to keep things as simple as possible. Put everything that's really bothering you on the top shelf and just focus. And as you get a day, a week, a month into your sobriety, you find that you can start picking one or two things off that shelf and dealing with them in an informed, conscious and sober manner. And take that little step forward. And that's what it is. It's just a small step at a time. And each small step you take forward and taking things down off that shelf, you'll see bits of your life start to improve. You'll start to get stronger. You'll start to be able to think clearly for yourself, have intelligent thoughts and plan, but don't go too far ahead. Just trying to keep it simple and keep it in the day. And most importantly of all, get a support network around you. And I say this constantly and constantly. That'll allay a lot of your fears, because whenever you're feeling frightened or you can't deal with a situation, you'll have someone to speak to. It doesn't matter where that support network comes from. I've said it a million times. Whether you're in AA, NA, CA, whether you're in Smart Recovery, whether you're in groups online, friends, relatives, professional people, whatever it is, just being able to pick up the phone and talk something through will waylay a fear. Once you step off the hamster wheel and keep it simple and in the day or in the moment and start dealing with things in your life a little bit at a time, you'll find all sorts of daylight coming back into your life. You'll find that it really is just about not putting that drink in your mouth, not putting that drug in your mouth each day, one day at a time. As you get stronger, better, you'll be able to accomplish your dreams, your goals, things you would never have dreamt of accomplishing, you will accomplish. And that's every single one of you watching this can do that. I don't like saying if I can do it, you can do it. That means nothing, because each one of you out there watching this is capable of doing it. You just need to take that first step. Get the knowledge, get Get into it a moment at a time. Plan. Get a date set. Hopefully you can take a bit of time to get through that first bit. If you can take a bit of time, all the better. If you've got busy lives, you're going to have to work around it. But that's about planning as well. But you can do it. So make today the day you change your life. Step through your fear. Much love to you all. Carpe diem. Seize the day today. Please subscribe. Please click the Ko-fi link. Much love. Bye-bye.